Here are 25 memorable Richard Feynman quotes, presented as you requested, without headings, and without numbering. The first principle is that you must not fool yourself, and you are the easiest person to fool. It doesn't matter how beautiful your theory is, it doesn't matter how smart you are. If it doesn't agree with experiment, it's wrong. For a successful technology, reality must take precedence over public relations, for nature cannot be fooled. I was born not knowing and have had only a little time to change that here and there. I don't know what's the matter with people. They don't learn by understanding, they learn by some other way, by rote, or something. Their knowledge is so fragile. Fall in love with some activity, and do it. Nobody ever figures out what life is all about, and it doesn't matter. Explore the world. Nearly everything is really interesting if you go into it deeply enough. Work as hard and as much as you want to on the things you like to do the best. Don't think about what you want to be, but what you want to do. Keep up some kind of a minimum with other things so that society doesn't stop you from doing anything at all. I learned very early the difference between knowing the name of something and knowing something. I think it's much more interesting to live not knowing than to have answers which might be wrong. I have approximate answers and possible beliefs and different degrees of uncertainty about different things, but I am not absolutely sure of anything. Religion is a culture of faith, science is a culture of doubt. I would rather have questions that can't be answered than answers that can't be questioned. The highest forms of understanding we can achieve are laughter and human compassion. Science is the belief in the ignorance of experts. If you can't explain something to a first-year student, then you haven't really understood it. We never are definitely right, we can only be sure we are wrong. If you think you understand quantum mechanics, you don't understand quantum mechanics. Don't pay attention to authorities, think for yourself. Study hard what interests you the most in the most undisciplined, irreverent and original manner possible. You can always recognize truth by its beauty and simplicity. You have no responsibility to live up to what other people think you ought to accomplish. I have no responsibility to be like they expect me to be. It's their mistake, not my failing. Physics is like sex. Sure, it may give some practical results, but that's not why we do it. First you guess. Don't laugh, this is the most important step. Then you compute the consequences. If it disagrees with experience, it's wrong. That's all there is to it. If you thought that science was certain, well, that is just an error on your part. A universe of atoms, an atom in the universe. Teach principles, not formulas. What I cannot create, I do not understand. Let me know if you'd like more, a specific theme, or quotes from a particular work of his. Here are more Richard Feynman quotes, just as you asked, no headings, no numbering. Enjoy this fresh batch of his wisdom. Nature uses only the longest threads to weave her patterns, so that each small piece of her fabric reveals the organization of the entire tapestry. We do not know what the rules of the game are, all we are allowed to do is to watch the playing. Of course, if we watch long enough, we may eventually catch on to a few of the rules. The rules of the game are what we mean by fundamental physics. The most remarkable discovery in all of astronomy is that the stars are made of atoms of the same kind as those on the Earth. What one fool can understand, another can. I want to marry Arlene because I love her, which means I want to take care of her. That is all there is to it. I want to take care of her. The thing that doesn't fit is the thing that's the most interesting, the part that doesn't go according to what you expected. Study hard what interests you the most in the most undisciplined, irreverent and original manner possible. What I cannot create, I do not understand. The pleasure of finding things out outweighs the pleasure of being right. If you think you understand quantum mechanics, You don't understand quantum mechanics. I'd hate to die twice. It's so boring. The only way to learn physics is to do physics. There's no such thing as a wrong question. The worthwhile problems are the ones you can really solve or help solve. In science, a failed experiment is nothing but a new direction. It doesn't seem to me that this fantastically marvelous universe can merely be a stage so that God can watch human beings struggle for good and evil. The stage is too big for the drama. It is in the admission of ignorance and the admission of uncertainty that there is a hope for the continuous motion of human beings. You can know the name of a bird in all the languages of the world, but when you're finished, you'll know absolutely nothing whatever about the bird. I learned very early the difference between knowing the name of something and knowing something. It is our responsibility as scientists to teach how doubt is not to be feared but welcomed and discussed. It's okay to say, I don't know. The pleasure is in finding things out. Learn concepts rather than merely facts. Life is too short to worry about stupid things. Have fun, fall in love, regret nothing, and don't let people bring you down. Study, think, create, and grow. Teach yourself and teach others. Let me know if you'd like yet another batch. Feynman has hundreds more stirring reflections waiting for you.